Right now at noon, more alert day conditions this weekend. I'll talk about how cold it will get coming up.
Plus, President Trump faces a red state defeat on congressional maps. A look at that divide and the new executive order on AI regulation. This is News 3 Now at noon. Thanks for joining us. I'm Josh Spreiter. We start with this weekend's weather because if you plan to be outside, bundle up. Temperatures are going to be dropping very, very cold into some dangerous light conditions. We want to start with that first warn forecast with meteorologist Jacob Montesano. Hi, Jacob.
Hey, Josh, as we take a look at the alert day information, we're going to see those wind chills dropping at least to -20, possibly close to -30 over the weekends. Now, right now, it certainly is cold, but overall, not too bad. Upper teens, lower 20s. And the key right now is that we really aren't seeing any wind. Looking at the wind speeds, only around 5 to 10 miles per hour, a little breezy for areas to the south, but it's causing the wind chills to pretty easily stay above zero. Looking at the wind chills, lower teens, some single digits, but certainly not alert day level. But as we get to the overnight hours, these winds are going to pick up, gusting up near 30 miles per hour. And with the temperatures being as cold as they're going to be, this is going to create some bitterly cold wind chills. And these breezy conditions, they are expected to last throughout the entire weekend. So bitterly cold all weekend. And as we take a look at the current cold weather advisory, it's in effect for our entire area for tomorrow and Sunday as well. Now, looking specifically at these wind chills, the forecast will really deteriorate overnight as the wind chills will plummet below zero. And then by the time we get past midnight, they're going to be in the -20s, possibly in the -30s. So I'll continue talking more about the wind chills, show you how long this will last, and show you a few chances of snowfall, all coming up a little bit later.
All right, Jacob, we'll see you in a few minutes. Thank you. Those weather-related cancellations already coming this afternoon. The Henry Vilas Zoo Lights show is being canceled this weekend due to the dangerous cold temperatures. People with tickets will be automatically refunded. The lights are reopening on December 17th, running through the 23rd. Tickets are $12 per person, and children 3 and under are free. Track the forecast for yourself on the First Warn Weather app. It has hourly planners, road conditions, and radar. Download it for free in your phone's app store by searching WISC Weather. Well, property owners in the Madison School District are recovering from sticker shock after getting their property bills this week. The increase comes after approving a more than $600 million referendum last fall. This was the largest ever for Madison Public Schools. One question asked for about $500 million to renovate or replace 10 schools. Another question asked for $100 million for operating expenses. One Madison homeowner who has had her home for over 6 years says her property taxes went up $750.
I would say that there's no easier way to support your community in such a hyper-local way. You are investing in your community, and you're going to see the dividends pay out some way.
She says as long as she makes ends meet, she is okay with the money going towards Madison students. On News 3 Now's Facebook page, more than 100 people reacted to their property tax increase, leaving comments like, quote, "Eventually people will be taxed out of their homes," end quote. The Wisconsin Elections Commission has denied a request from the U.S. Department of Justice for voter information. Earlier this month, the DOJ asked for Wisconsin's voter registration list, including the last 4 digits of Social Security numbers or driver's license numbers. In a letter, commissioners say they are willing to provide non-confidential data, but state law bars them from handing over the full unredacted list. The letter was signed by all but one commissioner. President Trump is facing a major setback in Indiana amid his efforts to redraw congressional maps in favor of Republicans ahead of next year's crucial midterm elections. This development came on the same day the president signed an executive order establishing a single national framework for AI regulation. Here's Natalie Brandt.
19 ayes, 31 noes. This bill has been defeated.
It was a notable defection and divide among Republicans in Indiana after the state Senate voted against redrawing congressional maps ahead of next year's critical midterm elections.
I don't want to wake up the morning after the election in November and find out we lost the House of Representatives by 1 vote.
The proposed map would have made Indiana's 2 Democratic districts more favorable to Republicans. Despite pressure from the White House, 21 GOP state senators voted it down.
I, like a supermajority of you, do not want to see another Democrat Speaker of the House. But that isn't for me to decide. And it isn't for anyone in this body to decide either. Living in a free constitutional republic means we empower voters to make those decisions, and we accept their will no matter what.
President Trump tried to downplay the result.
Well, we won every other state.
Alluding to other Republican-led states like Texas, which have moved to redraw congressional maps at the president's urging.
President Trump also took executive action Thursday to try and restrict states from regulating artificial intelligence, saying he wants the U.S. to lead in the AI race.
Every time you make a change, and it could be a very reasonable change, you still won't get it approved if you have to go to 50 states. So this centralizes it.
But the order is likely to face legal challenges. And there's bipartisan concern among lawmakers, state leaders, and consumer groups who say there's not enough oversight of the fast-growing technology. Natalie Brand, CBS News, the White House.
The Trump administration on Thursday said it would not oppose child safety measures for AI. A Utah judge will now decide whether or not cameras can be in the courtroom during Tyler Robinson's trial. During his first court appearance on Thursday, a judge reprimanded the only camera currently allowed in the courtroom after it briefly showed Robinson in shackles and some of the documents on the defense table. Robinson is charged with the September murder of conservative activist Charlie Kirk and could face the death penalty if convicted. The judge is expected to rule on whether or not cameras will be allowed in court next month. On the Health Watch, the FDA intends to put its most serious warning on COVID vaccines. The black box warning, which appears at the top of prescribing information, is designed to warn about risks such as death or life-threatening reaction. Boxed warnings on opioids warn about risks of abuse addiction, overdose, and death. The plan is not finalized and may be changed. It's unclear whether this will be in effect by the end of the year. The Packers are gearing up for a showdown with one of the best teams in the NFL, and you'll be able to watch it right here on News 3 Now. This Sunday, the Pack will be in Denver to face the Broncos. Denver comes into the game on a 10-game win streak, while the Packers are winners of 4 straight. Kickoff is set for 3:25 Sunday right here on CBS. Coming up next on News 3 Now at noon, how you can become a billionaire for the holidays. Plus, Disney enters the world of artificial intelligence, who they're now partnering with.
Disney and OpenAI are teaming up. The Walt Disney Company has reached a 3-year agreement to license hundreds of iconic Disney, Marvel, and Star Wars characters to OpenAI's Sora platform, which creates short videos using artificial intelligence. As part of the deal, Disney says it's making a $1 billion equity investment in OpenAI, with plans to deploy ChatGPT for its employees and use OpenAI tech to develop new products. Saturday night's Powerball drawing could turn a lucky player into a billionaire for the holidays. The $1 billion prize is the 7th largest in the game's history, with an estimated cash value of more than $461 million. And Krispy Kreme has brought back its December 12th Day of Dozens deal. Today, customers who buy a dozen donuts or 16 mini donuts can get another dozen of original glazed for $1 at participating locations. That's your CBS News Money Watch report. For more, log on to cbsmoneywatch.com. At the CBS Broadcast Center, I'm Jesse Mitchell.
Here's the stock report at the noon hour. The Dow is down 169 points, NASDAQ down 342, and the S&P 500 down this hour 59. Our call for action volunteers are in the building today, taking your consumer complaints and taking action on your behalf. Call for action at 608-270-2833 or submit a claim anytime at channel3000.com/call for action. Pam has today's farm numbers up next, and Jacob is tracking the first warn forecast. Then later on Live at 4, the Urban League of Greater Madison Young Professionals previews a holiday event, how it helps support their work. Welcome back at noon. Let's check in now with Pam Yankee for the Midwest Farm Report. Hi, Pam.
Hi, Josh. Today we're focused in on the next generation of agriculture leaders, and they're right in the classroom today. Agriculture literacy is something we focus a lot of attention on here in Wisconsin, thanks to the Wisconsin Ag in the Classroom program. Thought I'd highlight some of the schools in our Channel 3 viewing area that picked up a $500 grant to try to buy supplies, hands-on learning, whatever it might be. The teachers are incorporating agriculture into classroom curriculum, and it's pretty easy to do, quite honestly, because agriculture can be a part of mathematics, can be a part of science, it can be a part of the environment, and so forth. So they do a lot of different things in the classroom, and the $500 helps offset some of the hard costs that these schools might otherwise incur. It's supported in part by the Wisconsin Farm Bureau Federation, also several other organizations around Wisconsin. They'll opportunity for 2026 grants for those classrooms will come up in the fall of next year. Congratulations. So we're talking about the international marketplace, what's not happening as far as our products. You know what? We're trying to use more of those products domestically. Consumers say they support plant-based products. Now, I'm not talking about food. I'm talking about things like packaging that you're shipping your holiday gifts in. Also, things like the covering on food products. These are finding good favor with consumers, and that's a good thing because a lot of this can be used. For example, corn can be part of plant-based cardboard you might use. Corn can go into your tires. Corn can go into your furniture. So they are saying if you can't ship it abroad, then let's try to use it domestically. And that's good news for some of the industry that might have otherwise seen their market shrink. Even with the Mothers Against looking for healthy America, make America healthy again, I should say. They speaking out against high fructose corn syrup. This is another opportunity for that to be pivoted into other hard products. And finally today, talking a little bit about something you might want to do on Sunday. I know the temperatures are going to be pretty rough, but still, Schumacher Farm Park in Wanakee will be glowing white and bright. They are offering you an opportunity to create your own Yule log creation. Sunday from 10 until 11. It's just $15 per family to build your own Yule log. This is designed to be burned on the day where we have the greatest darkness and the shortest days. So coming up very, very soon. So those are some of the folks that enjoyed it previously. Remember, Schumacher Farm Park in Wanakee, part of the Dane County Park system right off of Highway 19. I want to encourage you to think about that as a family opportunity Sunday from 10 until 11. All right, markets today in Chicago, not a lot good to say, I'm afraid. Our commodities, our grain trade, just waiting to see if anything's going to pop before the end of the calendar year with regards to China. Of course, we've got other markets that are at play as well. Dairy not moving again today. Remember, it's not just U.S. milk production, it's Europe milk production, New Zealand milk production, all coming to bear on this. Barrel cheese is unchanged at $1.41 1/4. 40-pound block cheese up a half at $1.35. Double A butter, Josh, standing still as well for a Friday. So there you go. That Yule log looks kind of festive if we're going to be suffering through these temperatures coming up this weekend.
I was about to say it's a good thing your Packers are out west because Lambeau Field would not have been fun this Sunday.
Yeah, I think you're right. For a change, Denver might look attractive compared to the frozen tundra.
Yeah, big time. Well, go Pack, go Pam. We'll talk to you next week. Time now for your certified most accurate forecast in Madison with First Warn meteorologist Jacob Montesano. It's going to be chilly out there.
Yeah, bitter cold temperatures throughout the weekend, although we are going to see a warm up for next week. And in general, there's not any big systems in the forecast in terms of a high amount of snowfall accumulation. So for the most part, we're not going to see much additional snow accumulate going forward. But the big story is those cold temperatures, dangerous wind chills into the -20s, maybe -30s for Saturday and Sunday mornings, and even the afternoon hours will continue to be bitter cold. So timing all this out, we are going to see the wind chills begin plummeting after sunset. They'll be in the -20s from midnight through Saturday morning, and some areas may even see them stay in the -20s throughout the day. Saturday, at least in the -teens for Saturday afternoon, and Sunday morning is going to be just as cold, if not colder, -20s to -30s. And as we get to Sunday afternoon, it will be a little bit better compared to Saturday afternoon, but still expecting those wind chills to stay below zero into Sunday night and Monday morning as well. Although Monday morning not going to be nearly as cold as Saturday or Sunday mornings, but still on the cold side. And then by Monday afternoon, the wind chills will finally get back above zero. Now, when we see the wind chills at this level, it's important to point out that you could see frostbite in as little as 15 minutes when the wind chills are in the -20s. Now, I don't expect to see the wind chills get to -50, but still, we are expecting some very dangerous cold air. And if you do have to be outside for any reason, don't be outside for too long and certainly bundle up. Now, here's the good news. It's going to warm up very quickly after Sunday. 20s for highs Monday, 30s for the middle of the week, maybe even lower 40s by the time we get to Wednesday and Thursday. And the other good news is as Josh, you and Pam had talked about, the Packers game is not going to be in Wisconsin this weekend. It's going to be in Denver, and it does get cold in Denver, but it's not going to be cold there this weekend. In fact, very comfortable weather for the Packers forecast, so really no factor at all in terms of the and it's not going to impact the game at all. And like I mentioned, it does get cold in Denver. It's not like they're playing in Miami. So just very comfortable weather this weekend in Colorado, not so here in Wisconsin. Now, as we look at the small chances of snow, we're going to see some light snow north of Madison this afternoon, but not much. There is a little bit of a better chance of snowfall once we get to Saturday morning as a clipper system will move through the Midwest. Areas south of Madison will have the best chance of this snowfall, but I don't expect to see snowfall accumulation more than a ½ inch. But don't be surprised if you do see some falling snow, especially from Madison and areas south early in the day tomorrow. But beyond that, we're going to be dry once we get towards Sunday and Monday with our next better chance of precipitation. And I say precipitation because it could be warm enough where we're going to see a little bit of a rain-snow mix, and that's going to be Wednesday night into Thursday. But until then, pretty dry, just a few small chances of snowfall. And it's kind of crazy to think that our next big chance of precipitation will be a rain-snow mix when we're talking about the bitter cold that's going to happen over the weekend. So a very comfortable warm up, and I say comfortable because we haven't seen the temperatures get back to 40 since before Thanksgiving. Might see that Wednesday and Thursday of next week, but this weekend's going to be brutal. Like I mentioned, thankfully the Packers game, oh, it's not behind me anymore, but thankfully that Packers game is in Denver, and a very nice Packers forecast if you plan on attending that.
Yeah, 50s and 60s out in Colorado. That's crazy. Thank you, Jacob. We'll take a look at this. The Sylvie transforming into a Christmas village last night, all for the Gifts of Christmas community celebration. The event gives families in need tickets to shop for holiday gifts. This year, more than 30 local businesses and organizations donated $56,000 worth of toys, helping 950 children.
They have the autonomy to pick out gifts that they think their kids would love and use. They get the gifts wrapped. There's hot cocoa, there's Santa photos. It's a whole holiday experience, and we try to make sure that there's just lots of smiles and joy everywhere, not just today, but Christmas morning as well.
Since it began in 2020, the Gifts of Christmas program has provided presents to more than 40,000 children. Habitat for Humanity of Dane County is wrapping up the year with a special double home dedication. The event takes place Wednesday night at 5, starting at 1125 West Main Street in Stoughton, continuing next door at 303 Pine Street. The dedications celebrate affordable home ownership and community support. This is a free event open to the public. Up next at noon, the Wisconsin DNR sends out a reminder on what holiday waste you can and cannot recycle. Plus, the clock is ticking to get presents delivered in time for Christmas. The shipping deadlines you don't want to miss. Americans are expected to once again break spending records this holiday season, but the window to get those gifts delivered is closing fast. CBS's Evan Moon has the key deadlines for any gift that needs to be shipped.
The race is on to guarantee gifts are delivered in time for a spot under the tree. Some shoppers have mastered the rush.
I am on top of this. I started December 1st.
While others struggle to meet the fast approaching deadlines.
I'm still sort of doing the last minute scramble to get things out.
An estimated 2.3 billion packages will be shipped this holiday season, a 5% increase from last year.
You'll see a 5x spike at this time of year.
Craig Foreman, president of e-commerce for major courier DHL, says this year's time crunch was even trickier.
This year is a bit of an anomaly just from a calendar standpoint. Black Friday was actually in the month of December.
People who want to get a gift delivered by Christmas need to act soon. The listed deadline to ship ground with the U.S. Postal Service is December 17th. The 20th is the last day to send an express package. The last day for 2-day shipping at UPS and FedEx is December 22nd. Both companies offer overnight service on December 23rd for Christmas Eve delivery. But for some added peace of mind, Foreman suggests this rule of thumb.
Try and get your order in by December 15th. And really that is, you have a later date than that and can still make it, but just to have some assurance, because there are things that are outside of carriers' controls, such as weather.
And by mid-December, he warns there's no room for error. Make sure the address is correct and provide your email so you can track the package. Evan Moon, CBS News, New York.
Shipping deadlines with other popular online retailers like Amazon vary, so it's also important to double check those dates. The DNR wants you to remember what not to recycle this holiday season. Don't recycle holiday light strings, plastic bags or wrap, batteries or electronics. They can wrap around equipment or even start fires. Also throw out tissue paper, foil or glitter wrapping, and photo or musical cards, which can contaminate other recyclables. Officials say that to check local guidelines because accepted items can vary by community. Here's Jacob with the final check of that very cold forecast.
Thanks, Josh. Bitter cold for tomorrow and Sunday. Actual temperatures gonna barely get above 0, and the wind chills will likely stay below 0 all day, but it will get better for the middle of next week.
All right, Jacob, thank you. Thanks for watching News 3 Now at noon. Coming up next is The Bold and the Beautiful. Our next newscast is live at 4, and you can find us streaming 24/7 on Channel 3000+. Have a great weekend.